Well, hello everyone, it's Jordan Howie here, and in this video, I will be exposing the false prophecies about the solar eclipse. Now let's get started. Over the past month, as of when this video was recorded, social media was flooded with a heck ton of false prophecies about the solar eclipse. The false prophets who made these fake prophecies badly ruins the witness for Jesus Christ. I will be exposing how the false prophets did the dangerous practice of date setting ruins the witness for Jesus Christ during the process, was money hungry and fear mongering people with false prophecies about the solar eclipse. Solar eclipses and lunar eclipses are God's beautiful shows that we all can enjoy. They both are very spectacular and are very breathtaking. It is worth it to travel to see a total solar eclipse because of how awesome it is to see a total solar eclipse. Seeing a total lunar eclipse is just as rad as seeing a total solar eclipse is. I even made two ministry logos that are themed. One is solar eclipse themed, and the other is lunar eclipse themed. Lord willing, the solar eclipse themed logo will be used for 5 weeks leading up to a total annular or hybrid solar eclipse. The lunar eclipse themed logo will be used for 5 weeks leading up to a total lunar eclipse. If you are wondering, an annular solar eclipse is where a solar eclipse takes place when the moon is at its furthest position from the Earth, causing a ring of fire look. On the other hand, a hybrid solar eclipse, which is the rarest one, is where a solar eclipse goes from being annular to total to annular again. And this happens because of the Earth's curved surface. As of when this video was recorded, I have seen 2 or 3 total lunar eclipses, 2 partial solar eclipses, and watched a total solar eclipse in a YouTube live stream. I viewed both partial solar eclipses with the solar eclipse glasses like I should, and in both times I had the real deal and not a fake one. Before I go and expose the false prophecies that were made about the solar eclipse, I will give a brief lesson about how eclipses work. The sun is 400 times the size of the moon, and the sun is also 400 times farther away from the Earth than that of the moon. And this is not a coincidence because God designed the sun, Earth, and moon to be this way, and this makes lunar and solar eclipses possible. Solar eclipses only happen during a new moon, and lunar eclipses only happen during a full moon. Anyone who is on the night side of the planet can see a lunar eclipse. On the other hand, only people who are in a certain path called the path of totality can see a solar eclipse. And then others who are in the partial solar eclipse zone can see a partial solar eclipse. During a solar eclipse, the sun blocks out the moon, and the moon casts a shadow onto the Earth in a path that is called the path of totality. And then there will be a partial solar eclipse in places near the path of totality. During a lunar eclipse, the Earth is right in between the sun and the moon, causing the moon to have a red color to it, which is why lunar eclipses are also called a blood moon. As a result, anyone on the night side of the planet that time can see a total lunar eclipse. Eclipses have been taking place on this Earth for the past 6,000 years. Now it's time for the exposing of the false prophets who made up false prophecies about the Great North American Solar Eclipse of April 2024. Matthew 7:15 says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves." 1 John 4, 1-3 says, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God. Because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. 2 Corinthians 11:13-15 says, For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Scripture warns us to watch out for both not only false teachers, but also false prophets and false apostles. There have been a lot of false teachers, false prophets, and false apostles who have arisen over the years. We should always test what preachers teach with Scripture, because of so many heretics out there who rely on Christians being biblically illiterate. Heretics rely on Christians being biblically illiterate, so this way we will fall for their deceptive antics. We should be like the Bereans and examine what preachers teach with Scripture. There are also a lot of false apostles these days as well. Scripture makes it very clear that there were only 12 apostles in history. Therefore, there are no modern-day apostles. Some infamous examples of false apostles are Catherine Crick and Adrienne Stansland, and I have already exposed both of them on this channel. The false prophets who made up the false prophecies also engage in the dangerous practice of date setting. Mark 13:32-36 says, But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, at even or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. Matthew 18:7 says, Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offences come, but woe to that man by whom the offence cometh. One thing that all false prophets all have in common is that they do the deceptive practice of date setting. There were so many false prophets who made up false prophecies over the years, who set dates as to when they would supposedly happen. And then when that date came and went, their fake prophecies did not come to pass, as nothing happened. The case when the false prophets made all these false prophecies about the solar eclipse is no different. They claimed that calamity would strike during the April 2024 solar eclipse, and that solar eclipse came and went, and nothing happened. As a result, their false prophecies about the solar eclipse did not come to pass. As Christians, we should never, ever do the practice of date setting, because no man knows the day nor the hour when the second coming of Jesus Christ will take place. All these false prophets who did the practice of date setting have ruined the witness for Jesus Christ over the years and caused others to stumble, because due to the false prophecies, a lot of non-believers then end up thinking that all Christians are like that, when in reality, the real Christians are not like that. The false prophets who make up such false prophecies also do it just to make big bucks. 1 Corinthians 6:10 says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." Matthew 6:24 says, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon." These false prophets have the love of money, especially since they are very greedy, and they make up false prophecies to make big bucks out of it. The false prophets have thereby scammed a heck ton of people out of their hard-earned money, and what's even worse is that many of them use that money for giant mansions, fancy luxurious cars, private jets, etc. The false prophets also use the practice of fear-mongering as well. 2 Timothy 1:6-7 says, "Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of God, which is in thee by the putting on of my hands. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind." Fear is not of the Lord, and the false prophets create fear-mongering because they prophesy on different forms of calamity that will not take place at the time that they falsely predict. Bear in mind that bringing up false prophecies about calamity that is said to take place at a falsely predicted time is fear-mongering and wrong. While on the other hand, warning others about the end times is not fear-mongering and is the right thing to do, as there is no date setting involved when warning others about the end times.